Hello everybody, this is Froito Bob here, and welcome to race number 32 of the 2020-21 NROL Siemens National Series season. This is the Bass Pro Shops 300 at the Texas Motor Speedway. Yes, it is time for yet another Siemens National Series race at Texas Motor Speedway indeed, but of course it is the night version, and the this race is going to be slightly shorter than the one that we did earlier in the season, but you know what? Shortness does not mean any shortage of action. This race is actually longer than the one that we had last week, but last week's race wasn't particularly long, yet we still saw a very, very exciting show indeed, and I think we're going to see the same thing here at Texas. So, what about the point situation? Well, remember what I was saying last week about how last week's race would turn this championship on its head? That is exactly what it has done. So Hubel Exposed is still your points leader, but now he's got drivers such as Casey, Henne, and others now in contention to win this championship. And as we just have 5 races to go in the season, the championship has opened up quite a bit. So lots and lots of drivers now in contention to win the title. So we'll see if this race either compresses the points gaps between the drivers in the standings, or if it strengthens them. Maybe we'll have a better idea of who's going to be where in the championship once we get to the final race of the season. But with that being said, let's not waste any more time and give you the starting grid for today's race. Or in this case, tonight's race. Starting in the pole for this one is Bio Films. On second is last week's winner, Anthony Alfredo. Third is Austin Cindric. Fourth is Tyler Tomasi. Fifth is Nathan Amon. Sixth is Chicho Richardson. Seventh is Priya McShane. Eighth is Cody Goforth. Ninth is Michael Lynette. 10th is Zachary Fitzwater Sr. 11th is Jet Burton. 12th is Jose Mills. 13th is Noah Gregson. 14th is Emily. 15th is Nate Diomaninger. 16th is Greg Graff. 17th is Chase Briscoe. 18th is Dane Blue. 19th is Henne. 20th is Texas. 21st is John Doe. 22nd is Brandon Jones. 23rd is Hubel Exposed. 24th is Justin Nonger. 25th is Sebastian Coquelin. 26th is Edward. 27th is Ross Sting. 28th is Matthew Brown. 29th is Justin Haley. 30th is Austin Murray. 31st is Harrison Burton. 32nd is Ryan Sieg. 33rd is Anthony Logan. 34th is Casey Nanico. 35th is DJ Reed. 36th is Riley Herbst. 37th is Bob Hunter. 38th is Shane Lamb. 39th is Ernie Irvin. 40th is Mike Slater. 41st is Xander Money, and 42nd is Can't Drive. Another thing I forgot to mention, Can't Drive is actually one as well, who was up quite high up in the grid. Quite high up in the point standings, not the grid though. Yeah, some drivers weren't the best in qualifying, but you know what? Just because you're not going to qualify doesn't mean you're not going to do well in the race. Okay, so we did have a bit of frame drops while the cars were coming into the track. I think that's kind of just a case of this track being a bit of a resource-intensive one. As in the NR 2003 world, this track is a more recent one. It looks like some drivers are actually going to get going here. Come on, guys, let's get moving. What is going on? Uh-oh. Well, we already had our first crash of the race, and we haven't even started yet. Wow. Man, I guess drivers are so excited for this race that we've had our first crash before the race has even started, and already Chase Briscoe is upside down, and Texas has flipped him over, and playoff contender Henne looks like he might have a bit of front end damage. So wow, before the green flag has even flown, we already have our first crash of the day. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a wave around or something, or a wave by. I don't think so, but either way, Chase Briscoe already out of this race. Well, I say already out of this race with some damage before the race has even started. Well, we'll see if we're going to either go another extra pace lap to get the field bunched up, or if we're just going to go green this time by with the way that this field is already spread out. I tell you what, before the race has even started, we already have some talking points. Now the back of the field to catch up to the pace car as we are about to get to the start-finish line. Unless, of course, we're going to wave them by another lap, wait an extra pace lap to actually start the race. Let's see. Nope, pace car pulls off. We're going green this time by, so everyone who wants to race, you better catch up because we're about to go green flag racing, and green flag is in the air for the Bass Pro Shops 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. Phil's all caught up, and we are racing. Bio Films gets a pretty good start here, and will lead the field going through turn number 1. But here comes Austin Cindric already behind him. Austin Cindric looking for a win as well. And same for a bunch of other guys. but it's a good start to the race. And here comes Keyshawn Richardson already going low. And here we come through the treacherous turn 4. Turn 4 is a bit of an action-prone corner, but it looks like, oh, I spoke too soon, but people are hitting the wall, and I spoke too soon. Indeed, we are under caution for the first time in Texas, but we have not hit the start-finish line yet, so we are still racing back to the line here, as Keyshawn Richardson now side by side with Baca Thumbs, and the race going, and these drivers going very fast on the back straightaway, and Keyshawn Richardson has the lead here, and Freeman McShane is not too far behind, and here we come through turns number 3 and 4, off the final corner. And it looks like it's going to be Keyshawn Richardson will race with the race back light, but it's going to be a tight race for a second. As Zachary Fitzwater Sr. is right now side by side with Freeman McShane. And I think it is going to be Zachary Fitzwater Sr. who will edge out Freeman McShane and just as quickly have a crash with Can't Drive and will go into a spin. And we are under caution for the first time today in Texas. Pretty big mess too, as drivers are, oh no, Henna getting involved in accidents. Oh dearie me, a very messed up field to start today. Let's go back a bit, see what actually happened about this caution. Wow, a very chaotic start to this race. I tell you what, this is probably one of the most chaotic starts we've had in this whole season. So I started with Texas. I think Texas was battling with another guy. Oh no, that started out with Tao Tomasi and Nathan Mon. They got caught up and they all collected each other, and a big pound at the wall for Texas, and more big crashes and hitting the walls and various other things happened. No, most guys still did make it through, so that's something. Alright. Not much I can say about that first crash. Gotta saw the whole thing. But typical lap 1 carnage. Alright, well, time for the field to get sorted out. Probably need a single file restart, considering where that race was going. So that was our race on the track to catch back up to the pace car. Oh, Freeman saying Bob kind of films already coming down pit road. Barely to do that, but okay, maybe a strategy move. Cody Goforth coming down pit road. Almendinger, he's got a bit of damage though. And who'd be like supposed to a lot of guys coming down pit road. Some of these guys, it makes sense that they were involved in the action. Other those don't make so much sense as the race only just started. Although, I guess there's a lot of guys who need a bit of repairs. So this caution is probably gonna be good for a lot of these guys. Ooh, Matthew Brown's staying out. That's going to gain him a lot of spots. Casey goes, well, he's a key contender in this championship. And here comes Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe went upside down before the race even started. Is now joining back up with the field. This ought to be fun. And Case Nago was back at 21st to make up a lot of spots under this caution flag due to pit stops. Some drivers are staying on pit road for longer. I guess some drivers have more damage. While many other drivers are simply coming back onto the track. But I guess these cars are still coming to roll the most with the most damage. Balkan Films hasn't really moved. Anthony Alfredo. Number of guys still in pit road for damage. Here comes Todd Tomasi. Tell you what, these guys better be quick as the pace car is coming. Here comes Nathan Amond. He's gonna rejoin the track just before the pace car comes back out. And Michael Annette with the rush. And that is everyone. So Bioco Island Films. Man, Bioco Films and Anthony Alfredo, the two guys who are running high up, are likely to be the first goal lap down. Not a good start to the day for these guys. Now, of course, they are part-timers, so this means nothing for them in terms of the point standings. However, Oh, here we go. Okay, some guy just left the track. And Anthony Alfredo, though, they have started to service the car, but he's going to be a lap down here, so... And here comes Anthony Alfredo to rejoin the track. And the only two left to have him rejoin the track yet is Henne and Balkan Films. Now, Balkan Films, of course, a part-timer, but Henne was one of the prime contenders for this race, or for the championship. And Henne will be one of the last drivers to rejoin the race. And Balkan Films doesn't move the nations pulling on the pit road. So then, with all that in mind, I assume the lights were going on the pace car and the whole track this time. And yes, they have one more caution lap. Balkan Film still up the road, but Henne now just catching up to the field as we're about ready to go. Green flag racing once again. A few lap down cars coming up here as well. These are the guys that took just a little bit too long to get their car taken care of on pit road. So Michael Annette and Anthony Alfredo. And here comes Henne. So Henne, a key playoff driver, his championship is now in jeopardy. So we're already down to just 31 cars in the lead lap, but a good amount of cars still in this race. So let's now fast switch a little bit. And pace car pulls off. We got a few guys in the inside line, but everyone is mostly single file. And green flag is back in the air in Texas. Texas Motor Speedway. Ooh, the bottom line a little bit slow here. Except for Chase Briscoe. And Chase Briscoe already back on the lead lap. Which makes sense as Chase Briscoe didn't even race all that much. He's still a few laps down though, so he's got some ground to make up. At least he won't finish last. As all signal goes to the inside line. But here comes Jeb Burton on the low line as well. Here we come again through the turn 4. Very treacherous corner here. But unless we're going to make it this time. Here comes Jeb Burton though. Jeb Burton not going to give up so easily. And Jeb Burton on the inside of Austin Cindric. Jeb Burton running on a part-time schedule for this Junior Motorsports number 8 car. Has got to make some moves. Here comes Sebastian Coquelin. Sebastian Coquelin not a playoff driver. But here goes Matthew Brown, who is the playoff driver. Matthew Brown looking to get some points out of this race. And we're still green. Good. Here comes Freedom McShane. One of the most unlucky drivers of the season is somehow found the way up to first. But just behind her is Matthew Brown. Matthew Brown, who was actually running pretty well last week in Kansas. Looking to have another good week tonight. Here comes Cody Goforth though. Cody Goforth now going for the lead. Goforth not a playoff driver, but he's looking for points nonetheless. Also, something that's worth mentioning, 3 out of the 4 playoff guys that we need to look out for are in this top pack. You have Casey Nanico's moving his way on up, just Noel Geyer, Matthew Brown of course here, and Hubi Lexpos is hanging out in the back, but he is there. So Hubi Lexpos might be just playing it safe, and you know what? That's probably a good idea. Anyway, Jose Mills now going forward on Cindric. And Sebastian Coquelin there once again to get around Jose Mills, and there he goes. And Sebastian Coquelin to the lead. Here comes Justin Allgaier. Allgaier, who, I think he's actually winless this season. Or no, does he have a race win? I'm not too sure. Either way, Allgaier. Gotta have a good day if he wants to stay in contention for the championship. And he just happens to get these guys G Motorsports teammate Jeb Burton just behind him. Jeb Burton to the lead. As Pack is starting to get a little bit aggressive. Kason Richardson out to the front. But Jeb Burton not going to let it go so easily. And he immediately goes back to the lead. And Jeb Burton, who was already in the lead, got raced by Casey Nanico. Ow. And just like that, Jeb Burton already back in the lead, as there's a bit of argy-bargy happening through this from Pack. And Huber Lexpo's has actually found its way into the pack itself, so we could see him up here pretty soon. Sebastian Coquelin, no slouch today either. Tell you what though, we've had some pretty good racing action so far. Here is Henne, who's already 1 lap down. About to go 2 laps down. Actually, a lot of laps down. And he's holding up the field now. And the whole bottom line is actually going to take advantage of this. And with that, the whole bottom lane is all now made their way past the top lane. So the top lane now has some work to do. So Henne, yeah, Henne was already a lap down. He's now going 2 laps down due to being slow. Oh, about to go 3 wide for second here. Bit of a dangerous maneuver, but they're going to make it work. Ooh, Austin, though, also not giving an ace to Freya McShane. But Keisa Richardson, now your leader. And here comes Hubi Lexpos, your points leader. Here comes Ryan Sieg. Ryan Sieg, who was pretty up at the points, fell back a lot in the points due to last week's race. But can he use this race as an opportunity to recover himself? Here's Nathan Amon, another slow car. A slow car for the front pack to work their way around. Keisha Richardson not gonna waste any time. Tell you what though, pretty good racing so far. No caution since the first one. And to be honest, I kind of saw that first caution coming a long mile away, but fortunately, we haven't had a second caution since. So Hubi Lexpos has found his way into the top 10. But I tell you what though, Hubi Lexpos had a lot of playoff competition around him. That being said though, Hubi Lexpos is still your points leader in this series, so just has to be consistent for the remainder of the season. Not Hubi. Ryan Sieg though, playoff driver as well. And here comes Anthony Logan. Anthony Logan looking to save his season. Sebastian Coquelin moving up to 3rd, although he's in a 3-wide battle with Austin Cindric and Jose Mills. Sieg going beneath Sebastian Coquelin. Wow, Sebastian Coquelin just stuck on the high line here. And here comes Anthony Logan. Now Anthony Logan may be far back in the points, but he isn't quite out of this competition yet. So he wants to do everything he can to score as many points as possible. Meanwhile, battle for the lead, as Freya McShane has just overtaken Kirsten Richardson for the lead. Austin Cindric not playing around either. And Austin Cindric up to the lead. Hubi Lexpos is falling back a little bit, but it's a little bit early in the race to go for these crazy moves the leaders are going for. But that being said, though, a lot of these guys aren't in the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter what happens to them in this race. Although, for those who are running for points, the competition is still there to be the best of the rest. Also, the Balkan Films and others are out of this race. Here comes Ryan Sieg, playoff driver, into the lead. Tell you what, the competition in this race is tight. And Logan now to the lead. Well, the field is just kind of just settled into this whole battle thing. So right now, your top 10, actually your top 20 is quite far away from the guy next in line. So Matthew Brown actually the last car in this front pack. So right now, the top 19 all has a shot to win this race, but anyone's back, further back, not so much, but the more the merrier. Now here comes Anthony Logan on Freya McShane. And here is Brandon Jones. I don't know how he has done it, but Brandon Jones has found his way to the lead and cautions out again in Texas. I tell you what, though, this caution is probably for the best. So who's going to win the race back to the line then? Well, it's always going to be Anthony Logan, unless Jose Mills can get a run. And here comes Brandon Jones as well. Toyota's 1, 2, 3. And Anthony Logan's going to win the race back to the line. And now it's time to slow things down a little bit. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Oh, man. Oh, no. And the leaders. And Brandon Jones goes for a tumble down the back straight as the field could not avoid a loose car. And just like that, Brandon Jones was looking for a good day. And that good day is now totally gone. Wow. Well then, after all that, it is time to slow things down a little bit. So let's see what actually happened, because we didn't even see the caution. Well, it looks like they were actually crashed in two different places. There was a crash on this part of the track. I actually kind of saw it in the right. Well, oh dear, some aggressive battling between Ryan Sieg and Matthew Brown. And Ryan Sieg gets sent right into some sausages. And yeah, it's definitely easy to see why the caution came out this time by. Wasn't over yet though, it's Casey Anico. But Ryan Sieg, who needed a good points day, just got too aggressive with Matthew Brown. Man, playoff drivers not giving each other an inch. There's actually a lot of playoff guys in this pack. So let's now slow things down just a little bit. So you have Ryan Sieg, who looks like he's going to come to the bottom lane, and then he's going to tag with Matthew Brown, and these two were going really hard at each other, and now they got with each other so hard that they tagged, and they went to the bottom lane. Now both of these cars out of control. However, it looks like Matthew Brown at least able to save his race. Let's see what actually happens with Matthew Brown here. Narrowly avoids an out of control Ryan Sieg. However, Matthew Brown is safe, and Matthew Brown will make it to the wreck and continue his race. That being said, however, it's not the end of the crash. So let's now see what happened next. So Ryan Sieg, who just with the weirdest move ever. So he's out of control, and then he goes right into a Bioco Films. So Bioco Films was just sitting there. It looked like that Bogcon Films was actually looking to re-enter this race. Well, I'm not sure if Bogcon Films will be able to do that right now, as he just happened to be in the space where an out-of-control Ryan Sieg just came in and smashed right into Bogcon Films, which sent Ryan Sieg back onto the racetrack and right into Henne and Casey Nanico. And Casey Nanico, who I think has a blown engine, Casey Nanico, who was one driver to look out for in the standings. This race has gone from bad to, well, not just sausages. But Ryan Sieg now on pit road, and he is likely with terminal damage. And so Ryan Sieg, another driver to look out for in this championship, likely done for the day. But of course, that's not all, as Henne actually was hit from the side from Ryan Sieg. Oh, he has a blown engine. That's it. That's it for Henne. Henne is done for the day. I mean, he was already in 34th though, running slowly. So, but either way, Henne is likely not going to be in this championship fight for much longer unless he can rebound next week. And same for Casey Nanico. Casey Nanico, another driver who was high up the points standings. But that wasn't the end of it, though. We had another crash on the back straightaway for some reason. I'm not sure what happened. Let's see. Oh. Mike Snyder, who couldn't really see where he was going for some reason, smashes right into the back of Casey Nanico. And Casey Nanico, who already had damage from that crash, that hit from Ryan Sieg, just finished them off. And Casey Nanico, another playoff driver, who is done for the day. And just like that, Casey Nanico, his championship hopes are likely quite literally in smoke. And now, that wasn't the end of it though, as a Maya Snyder, who is now just sitting on the racetrack, right in the path of the leaders, who were just slowing down, and not able to disappear in time, gets hit by Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones, another driver who was looking for a good day. Brandon Jones going to go for a tumble. And Brandon Jones may have had a shot to do something nice today, or do something cool today. Unfortunately, his day is likely over with as well. So let's take another... Actually, let's now escape this camera and see what happened following this. So look, so the driver's though able to keep going. Oh, Anthony Alfredo's back. Although he's been back, hasn't he? So let's now check. So your points leader, Hubert Lexpos, did someone get hit in this crash? He was involved in it, obviously, but how badly? So after the flip happened, and nothing really happened though. Yeah, Hubert Lexpos, he's fine. Right. I tell you what, I'll give the field this. They went quite a distance before deciding to have an accident. But it's time to slow things down once again. While Sinner coming down pit road, Kakalan will be Austin Murray staying out. Free Chain coming in. Ooh, so some drivers choosing to come in, other drivers choosing to stay out. Matthew Brown coming in though, probably needs to repair some damage, and others as well. So a mix of drivers pitting and not pitting. So the field is going to change a little bit. This actually gives Super Lexpos the opportunity to move up a few spots. So it's going to be interesting to see what Hubert Lexpos does from here. Fair, so the drivers don't come back up. Well, actually, no, these are the guys who stayed out. Now here are the guys coming off the road. And Bogcon Films got hit by an out of control Ryan Sieg. What is Bogcon Films doing anyway? He's still there on pit road. What's he waiting for? Meanwhile, you have Ryan Sieg, Brandon Jones, and... Well, Ryan Sieg and Brandon Jones likely done for the day. And then you have Bogcon Films, who's been here since the start of the race. Also, John Doe and Dr. Fitzwater Sr. no longer in this race texted us. The 003 of, I think that's Bob Hunter, can't drive. and Chastain, actually. A bunch of, or some DNFs here that we didn't catch the first time. Alright, let's see who's going to line up where. So we have Chase Briscoe, Anthony Alfredo, Nathan Amon, and Michael Lennon, who will be on the low line. So who actually DNF'd in this race? So, Balkan Films, he's still technically in the race, but he's not racing for some reason. Hannah done for the day, of course. Sieg done. But apparently some guys were actually DNF'd for a while. So yeah, Balkan Films, obviously. Don Doe apparently exited this race some point early on. Jack Fitzwater Sr. as well. Texas, Bob Punter can't drive, and Ross Chastain. Not sure. I didn't think those guys got that badly damaged from the first accident of this race. But anyways, for the guys who were already in the back, Chase Briscoe, this I had to give him the opportunity to move up a couple more spots. So interesting things happening in this race. And now with that in mind, we now have 24 cars remaining on the lead lap. So that's 24 cars, though, still with a chance at winning this race. So we're just nearing the halfway point in this race. Let's see what happens from now to the checkered. So pace car once again pulls off. And green flag back in the air in Texas. Number of drivers didn't get the greatest launch, although some of the drivers in the bottom actually got a pretty good launch, so that's interesting. There is though Anthony Logan able to get a bit of a gap here. So these Epton cars might have a bit of fun with the leaders here. Tell you what though, what they should be doing is trying to get their lap back. Not doing a very good job of that. They're just slowing up the leaders. So here's Cody Goforth, the next car actually running for position here. Trying to get his way through these slower cars. So they gotta be careful off of turn 4. And Cody Goforth is in second. There he goes. Okay, Brewster, we're gonna have a race here. Alright, the bomb lane is opening up. So Anthony Logan currently your leader in this race, but of course others are not too far back. Tell you what, the tires are worn off as drivers having to slow down a bit more in the corners. That being said, that hasn't stopped these races from battling. As here is Cody Goforth trying to go beneath Anthony Logan. He has the low line. Cody Goforth, I believe, hasn't won a race this season. If he did win a race, I've already forgotten it. By the way, Cody Goforth trying to make some waves in this race. Anthony Logan, though, not going to make it any easier for him, though. As Anthony Logan, of course, driver actually in the playoffs and needs to pick up as many points today as he can. Same for Allgaier and, well, all these guys. Allgaier in this lead pack and Huber Lex Pulse. Indeed, who'll be trying to pick up some spots. Ooh, Allgaier, though, has got competition from Jose Mills and Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton. Now a competitor in this race. That Matthew Brown back there, it is Matthew Brown, who was involved in the caution earlier, still with a chance of winning this race. And maybe that was a strategy move. What Matthew Brown pulled there. Taking out Matt Ryan's seat to give himself more of an advantage and win this championship. So Cody Over moving his way back up here. Austin Cindric here as well. Oh, Cindric gonna try to make it 3 wide. 3 wide battle for third. And Cindric is gonna pick up 2 spots in 1 corner. Tell you what, the lead back is kind of broken up now. So Shane Lamb actually last won this lead pack, so actually that caution has now brought us down to 11 cars with a realistic chance of winning this race. That is, unless of course some of the guys at the back can cook up a strategy to make their way back up here, but I don't think there's enough time for that now. Unless the front of the pack is able to have a big one. We shall wait and see. Anthony Logan doing pretty good here as Anthony Logan has now lost lead since the restart, but looks like he might lose it here though, as here comes Austin Cindric. And there he goes, Cindric up to the lead. We have a lap down car coming up though. Lap down car could impact this race. But Cindric though already getting a good gap on these guys. As the way it builds up a cushion here to stay up here. And Austin Cindric getting a bit of a lead here. Oh, it looks like this lap car isn't the slowest moving guy in the world. Ironically, Austin Murray actually a slower car or a fast car than who will definitely be a lap down car of Michael Annett. Most of the top of this pack though is mostly single file, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. How many of these guys will make it around a slow-moving Michael Annett? And here goes Matthew Brown, who has quietly squeaked his way through this pack. And here is Michael Annett. Cindric, not the quickest to get around him. But the front of the pack though starting to go double file, and there's going to be the high lane that's going to get slowed up here by a lapped down Michael Annett, and that has put Matthew Brown into second, and various other drivers move up this position as well. And here comes Hubley Lex and Pulse. Various other drivers on the bottom lane as well, trying to move his way past Michael Annett. And Austin Cindric up to the lead. Well then, less than 20 laps to go in this race. And we're still a long way away to find who can win it. Most of the front of the pack though has gone single file. So it will be interesting to find out. We'll finish where. Meanwhile, just Allgaier has now triggered a battle with Hubley Lexipulse. Hubley though has played it safe in this race, and that's probably for the best. As Hubley Lexipulse just needs to be consistent going into these last few races. That means that they can't give up too much ground. As some key competitors are all up here. Matthew Brown, I think, is Hubley's closest competition. So while Hubley can't or doesn't necessarily need to exactly be running up front, he can't exactly be sandbagging either. That being said, this field is catching up to Austin Murray, who's actually already one lap down and could go a second lap down here. Tell you what, this field is starting to really slow up now. Tires are falling off, and Huber legs post also falling off. Huber's he's gotta hit the throttle. I tell you what, if another caution comes out, I can already see a lot of these guys are gonna pit for tires. But that's only if there's a caution. If there is no caution, these guys will likely stay out all the way to the end. So we caught up to Austin Murray, who could slow these two guys up, as somehow Austin Cindric and Matthew Brown have managed to pull out to a lead here on the rest of the field. Yeah, two-car breakaway has come seemingly out of nowhere, but the two-car breakaway though will be slowed up by Austin Murray. Not very much though. So Austin and Matthew Brown with a two-car breakaway. Austin Cindric, I believe, only has one win on the season that came all the way back at Circuit of the Americas. Matthew Brown, though, is a two-time winner of the season, and both of his wins came in the two Australia races. Two very different situations, too. First win came at Sandown in what was a race with old tires versus new tires. Matthew Brown pitted and was able to run down Anthony Logan to win that race. And then, a week later, in Cowler Park, Matthew Brown was just better than everyone else that day and won the race. However, Matthew Brown is actually getting shown up by Austin Murray. And Austin Murray, who is going to try to stay between Austin Cindric and Matthew Brown. And as this front pack has continued to string out, we now have 10 laps to go, and it looks like this race might come down to an anticlimactic finish, as Austin Cindric has the lead, and now he is starting to pull away from Matthew Brown. And through all this happened in this race, Austin Cindric looks to just cruise his way to the finish. What has been an action-packed race, looks like it might come down to an anticlimactic finish, unless Matthew Brown does something for him. So unless a caution comes out, these top two will continue to pull away. I don't know how they did it, but just somehow, Austin Cindric and Matthew Brown were able to break away from the lead pack. And as a result, the two have set sail. And now, they may have a duel of their own coming to the finish. Meanwhile, back here, the race back here, though, has heated up. But it's really not going to matter much, as these drivers just aren't just worn a lot. The tires are a lot more worn out compared to the top two. So, looks like these guys are just going to have their own race to the finish. Another lap down car. Michael Lynn about to go another lap down. This could slow up these top two. And it will, but only by a little bit. As Austin Cindric and Matthew Brown will quickly get their way around Michael Lynn, and oddly enough, Austin Murray will as well, despite Austin Murray being a lap down. Tell you what though, Matthew Brown has been able to stay competitive with these top two. But Austin Cindric, ever since just most recently taking the lead, Austin Cindric has absolutely dominated this race. And I tell you what, last week did indeed turn the championship fight on its head. I don't think this race will have that same effect, but it will likely compress the lead pack Now, Matthew Brown was a driver to look out for. So, this could be detrimental to who beats championship fight. So unless the car comes out, there's no way that these guys are going to catch up to the lead pack. And even if the cars did come, I don't think it's going to change much now. We're just too late in the race for that to matter. By the way, did Buckeye Phillips ever return to the race? No, he's just on pit road. Oh, here we go. Got more lap down cars to potentially spoil the party. 3 laps to go. Well, I know he just said a second ago that these lap down cars could see these guys up, but I think it's too late in the race for that to happen. And Austin Cindric, who has absolutely dominated this race ever since the last restart, and then some. 2 laps to go. Does Matthew Brown have anything left? Or is this going to be Austin Cindric's day? Obviously, this will mean very little until the championship standings, as Austin Cindric is going to have to overtake Justin Haley and Emily, but it's not going to make much of a difference in this race. And here we go, white flag, warm up to go in Texas, and Austin Cindric and Austin Murray and Matthew Brown will get past these 2 lap down cars, but I don't think that I don't think that Matthew Brown has anything left for Austin Cindric. And with that, we come to the final corner. It's hard to mess up now, and Austin Cindric, as the caution comes out at the very last moment, Austin Cindric wins the Bass Pro Shops 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. And with that, the caution came out on the very last lap, but it doesn't matter now, as Austin Cindric is your winner of the day. Bit of weird stuff going on as we have come to the end of the race. And with that, everyone should have taken the yellow flag. And wow. Caution came out right as the race came to its conclusion. But that's it. Doesn't matter now. The race is over. And now I have also not the first one on pit road. But it doesn't really matter. So, just for the fun of it, let's see what happened to bring out that last caution flag. That happened right on the very last lap of the race. It was just too late for the guys in the back. So the caution comes out right about here. Okay, so let's actually stop here. So the caution came out right as Austin Cindric was just entering turn number 1. So Austin Cindric had already taken the white flag at this point. So from this point on, it was all said and done. And Cindric was going to be the winner of the day. So with that in mind, let's see what actually happened to bring out this last caution of the day. Oh! Justin Allgaier. And it just so happens that it happened in the pack of cars that was just behind the leaders. So, Justin Allgaier, on the second to last lap, is battling hard with Edwood and Damon Blue. And Damon Blue likes to get into Allgaier. And, well, that wasn't a very big crash. Tell you what, this is going to cost Allgaier some positions here. And oddly enough, some guys did already take the caution flag. And Allgaier hits the back end of Harrison Burton for no real reason. What are we getting into this race? Wow. But of course, this plane was already over. So right as the carnage was happening on the other side of the track, Austin was just doing his thing. And ultimately, he won the day. So I think DJB can be the first one to pick road here, right? Yeah. Alright. So there you have it. That is Texas, and Austin Cindric is your winner of the day. However, Matthew Brown did pretty good though, finishing second, so I wonder how this will impact the championship fight going into the last couple races. So half the field finished on the lead lap, and the other half either had some crashes. And only if you had a Balcon Films case who never actually rejoined the race, he just stand up here with the whole thing and came in with a that position. Just Briscoe enough. Well, okay, I'm going a bit too soon. Let's actually look at the finishing grid, the running order as it is. So, all sitting with the win today. Matthew Brown comes home in second. GG Reed coming home in third. Sebastian Coquelin in fourth. Cody Goforth fifth. Jose Mills in sixth. Dane Blue seventh. Riley Herbst in eighth. And Hubi Lex Pulse comes home in ninth. So, Hubi Lex Pulse is the second highest running playoff driver to finish in this race. So, Hubi Lex Pulse is able to best every single playoff driver except for Matthew Brown. So I think this race is actually going to put Matthew Brown right back into the championship fight. So, Hubi Lex Pulse may have a bit of work to do. Now with that being said, of course, Hubi Lex Pulse, of course, is the best of everyone else. So Hubi Lex Pulse should at least be the second highest, or second in the point standings. But Matthew Brown, ooh boy, it's going to get interesting. Anthony Logan as well with a good points. He comes home in 10th. Just Longire in 11th. Shane Lamb in 12th. Edwood 13th. Harrison Burton 14th. Noah Gregson 15th. Greg Graff at 16th. A. John Blinger 17th. Ernie Irvin 18th. Xander Bond 19th. Tyler Tomas 20th. Emily 21st. Just Neely 22nd. Anthony Alfredo 23rd. Jed Burton 24th. Austin Murray 25th. Nathan Monan 26th. Michael Lynn 27th. Chase Briscoe 28th. Fear McShane 29th. Brandon Jones 30th. Brandon Jones, he was looking to have a good day up until that crash. Keith Ritchie coming home in 31st. And then you had some bad days. Ryan Sieg, another bad day for him. I think his championship fight might be over with, but we'll have to see. Ryan Sieg with a very disappointing 32nd. Same for Casey Anico. Casey Anico, just going into this race, he was right up there, and now as well 33, he's going to be back down. So Casey Anico with a bit of work to do. Masada comes home 34th. And another playoff driver now with some work to do, coming home in 35th. Balcon Films comes home in 36th. John Doe 37th. Zachary Fitzwater Senior 38th. Texas, who looked like he might have had a chance to win last week, didn't even make it that far in this race, so Texas with a very disappointing 39th. Bob Hunter 40th, Can't Drive 41st, and Ross Senior 41st. And I tell you what, as for Can't Drive, I can't believe he retired so early, as Can't Drive never even had a chance to actually play around with the running order in this race, as he was out of the race before the race really got going. So, yeah. Well, that's it for the day. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.